Cool. All right. All right, turn around for me a little bit. And yep, that's what the fanboy's like. Right there. All right, and let's try. Cheyenne.
Yeah?
Get the fuck out of my house.
But we still have...
Cheyenne! Get the fuck out of my house. Do you know what today is?
Monday?
It is delivery day. Vinegar Syndrome Day. Alrighty, let's talk about some trash. It is the February package from Vinegar Syndrome. I'm very excited about this. Let's see here. Let's open this sucker up. It's a box that I got on my doorstep. Let's open her up. Doop, doop, doop. This is a lot more challenging without a thing. Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm really excited for this month's releases. I love bubble wrap. Bubble wrap, bubble wrap, bubble wrap, bubble wrap. Doop, doop. God damn it, son of a bitch. Fucking. He was felled by bubble wrap. All right, so I love Extro. Extro is a bizarre film about an alien that like impregnates a chick, and then a full-grown man pops right out, and there's like a kid who misses his dad and stuff. It's amazing. And I didn't realize until I looked into this a little bit more that the entire Extro trilogy, yes, there is a trilogy, was directed by the same guy, whose name I have promptly forgotten, Harry Bromley Davenport. And I have not actually seen Extro 2. I'm going to remedy that before I actually watch this film. But first up in the pack is Extro 3. Look at this packaging. Look at it. Even if this movie sucks ass, which is entirely possible, I don't know, I've never watched it, this is a quality artwork. The entire alien head is embossed, plus the title. It says, "Watch the skies" on the back. All my Mulder and Scullys out there, I'll appreciate that. Open her on up. And it looks like we have, I guess, the maybe original video artwork, original poster artwork. I'm not really sure. Ooh, that alien looks fun. So if you can see that right there, look at, oh. Let's see, we got, newly scanned, obviously, in 2K from the original camera negative. Winning and losing. Got an interview with the director, interview with the writer and actor, Daryl Haney. Original trailer. All right, nothing crazy. I would have really liked, since he is still a working director, it would have been cool to get a commentary there, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm fine. Doop-a-doop. All right, so open her up. Got our 2 discs with the different artwork. We also get a third artwork choice. Nope, artwork from the slipcover rather, which is cool. I like that artwork. In fact, I'll probably, well, I'll keep it the same because, yeah, I'm going to keep this the way it is since it's different artwork. Oh, good. But yeah, love that artwork. Prefer the slipcover because the slipcover is a dank as hell. But good stuff either which way. Very excited to watch that beastie. And let's put it on the bottom of the pile. Next up, we've got Hollywood Horror House. A new high in terror and shock. And houses? This is one of those that, kind of like Zombie Island Massacre, I heard some very mixed things about. But I'm still excited to watch because that proved to be a pretty fun time. It was not my favorite, but it proved to be a pretty good experience overall. Michael can't open Blu-ray plastic. He's a loser. That's all the bullies say. All those bullies from high school and college and elementary school. All right. Okay, inside we get, of course, our standard junk. Now I should have mentioned a lot of embossing. Obviously, you know I like my embossing. A lot of embossing on this cover. So on the Blu-ray, we do get the initial, or the slipcover version. So I'm going to go ahead and spin that around. And I think my new thing on this here video series is I'm just going to automatically, if it's the same as the slipcover, I'm going to automatically change it over to the alternate artwork because it just seems like it adds some variety. Also, someone in my Vinegar Syndrome group mentioned it before. I don't remember their names. I can barely remember directors' names. Why do I remember random strangers on the internet's names. Come on. So, this is an alternate title cover, The Savage Intruder. That's exciting. And The Savage Intruder, let's see, we've got newly restored in 4K from the original negative. That's dope. Historical commentary track, so I assume it's ported over, from David Dakota. I've never heard David Dakota referred to as of rapidheart.tv, but okay. David Del Valle of sinisterimage.com, and Promotional Image Gallery, and so nothing too crazy, but we got a commentary, so that's pretty dope AF, as the kids do say. So that is dope. Awesome. Can't get it in. And finally, I'm going to present this at crotch level. Public Affairs, the Great American Porn Film. Look at that. Starring Annette Haven. Annette Haven was in the last one, 1001 Erotic Nights. That is dope as hell. All right, so cool. And Kelly Nichols, filmed by Henry Packard. All right, let's see. Newly scanned and restored. The only real... Let's see, we got an extensive audio interview with Annette Hines, and then Going Public, an interview with co-writer and producer Joyce Snyder. I like when it's a woman who, at least helps make these movies. That usually adds a little bit of extra depth to them. Or, the fucking's just real good. All right, open her up. We've got a classy and less classy version. And gonna go ahead and scoop this out. Got the, what I assume has to be the original VHS cover art for this as well, and the poster art for it. This was, what year was this? This was 1983. 1983, not a bad year for a little porno. That is our porno of the week. Obviously, if you got the normal horror package, you didn't get this. But if you got the completionist package, then you got it. And if you're super jelly of all this porno I'm amassing, then you should get the completionist package next time it is available. That is dope. I love this cover art for the slipcover, also embossed, of course, on both sides. And it has a nice vintage look to it that I think is really fun. So really excited about that. And yeah, that is our package for the day, for the month. And yeah, let's go watch these fucking things.
All right, so let's start with the least memorable of the bunch. Hollywood Horror House is not necessarily bad, but it is nowhere near the mind-bending what-the-fuckery that the cover art espouses. There's a lot of stylistic, acid-tinged sequences that hint at a far more surreal experience, but at the end of the day, this one is little more than the 60s throwing up a mix of Sunset Boulevard, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and a dumpster full of mannequins. Also known as Savage Intruder, this 1970s slice of trash cinema stars 30 starlet Miriam Hopkins in her final role as Catherine Packard, who's basically Norma Desmond, except her name is Catherine Packard. Anyway, she's recently had a little whoopsie. And so she hires on a male nurse named Vic Valance, played by David Garfield, although he goes by a rather silly nom de plume.
My name is Hardy. Laurel Ann Hardy.
Vic's going by a fake name because he's actually a sadistic smackhead serial killer. As you might imagine, things go great for everyone. While I wasn't smitten with Hollywood Horror House, in fact I was kind of bored, I do think there are some good reasons to add this flick to your collection. For one, when it gets weird, it gets real weird.
You want Coke, lady?
I'd much prefer a deep dish martini.
No, I got Coke, Speed, Smack, Grass, and Acid.
No, thank you. The only trips I take are to Europe.
For another, the colors, costuming, and set decoration are all one big glorious throwback to a far more garish period in American history. It smacks of low-rent LA beatnik nonsense left over from the 60s, and that aesthetic helps keep interest when you're laboring through Gail Sondergaard ineptly trying to save her employer and the parasitic romance between Catherine and Vic. As far as bonus features go, all we get here are the aforementioned commentary and a stills gallery. The gallery is what you'd expect from Vinegar Syndrome, while the commentary is interesting. David Dakota, whom I wouldn't have even realized had a YouTube channel until now, so good job on that one, and noted horror journalist David Duvall take commentary duties. While there's not the boots-on-the-ground feel you get from a filmmaker or actor who was actually part of the production, it's obvious Delval has a lot of passion for it and the careers of actresses like Miriam Hopkins. You get a shitload of info from Delval, so while it's not a filmmaker commentary, it's just as good, if not better. Overall, Hollywood Horror House is an okay addition to your Vinegar Syndrome collection. As is mentioned in the commentary, it's just not trashy enough, gay enough, or violent enough to be a classic. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to casual collectors, but I'm happy to have it on my shelf. On a technical level, Extro 3 is the worst movie of this whole lot. Frankly, it's one of the most inept movies I've seen from Vinegar Syndrome. Part of that is down to director Harry Bromley Davenport having helmed the previous 2 installments in the Extro franchise, and somehow going from the glorious Mindbender original to, well, a lackluster Predator ripoff. And that's after he's already embarrassed himself with Extro 2, which is an even more lackluster Aliens ripoff. I guess I should have been worried after watching that train wreck, but I had hope. I mean, just look at that alien design on the cover. That's got to be some cool shit. Well, fuck. Extro 3 follows a group of Marines who go to an island in search of something or other and wind up fighting a puppet or something small. It's small sometimes, I think. I don't know. It's a mess. Sometimes it seems like Davenport was making a comedy, but there are little details that betray a more serious, albeit lazy approach that just doesn't work. None of the soldiers even attempt to appear legitimate. The island is obviously just some woods around LA, and holy mother of God, that alien. But all of that said, it's pretty fucking entertaining.
Found his concrete block and Hendricks blew it open and disappeared inside, and, well, I guess Kurt and everybody else went in to find him.
I watched Extro 3 with a few friends from out of town, and we had a blast. I actually started clapping when we first saw the alien puppet just kind of standing there, ineffectively staring at our lackluster heroes. It felt like a glorious punchline, and Davenport basically just keeps the hits coming all the way to the end credits. Even the first shot is an utter dumpster fire. And what the fuck is Robert Culp doing here? And why is he in a warehouse? And why is there a flag in the... Oh my god. The extras on the disc are pretty dope. In his 20-minute interview, Davenport is, at very least, very honest about his film's quality.
It's poetry, isn't it?
He's a charming guy, although I can't help but get the feeling that the quality of his movies has something to do with him not appearing to take them very seriously. He's very flippant. In other moments, he's almost overwhelmingly pretentious.
I missed that, but it's quite a long sequence. Maybe your attention drifted when you saw black and white.
Although that may just be his dry British wit. Much like the plot of the original Extro, who the fuck knows? Anyway, it's a broad and fascinating interview and answered several of the questions bouncing around in my brain. Writer and actor Daryl Haney, he of the Friday the 13th The New Blood fame, gets his own 18-minute interview, which is a little more of a conventional A to B telling of how he got the job and what all it entailed. It's interesting to hear his side of the story, although I would have liked some follow-up as to why he hates Steven Spielberg, apparently. Look, Extro 3 is a bad film. Not in the usual sense where I'd say that it's technically good due to how entertaining it is. It's bad. But with friends in the room, perhaps some booze or drugs, I think you might have a good time. Or not, it's really up in the air. But I'll give this release a recommendation for 2 reasons. One is that it really has to be seen to be believed. And the other is this sweet fucking cover art. God damn, that looks good. That is fucking art, man.
Rally for Nick Stern. He's running for the U.S. Senate.
To balance the budget, to meet the payroll. With private enterprise,
Believe it or not, the best film of the bunch is the porno. That's nothing against porno, just, I don't know, I felt like the horror flicks might win out this time, but that was not to be. Public Affairs is one of those adult films that not only works purely as a film, but uses the sex scenes to advance the plot. In this case, we follow a womanizing politician, Nicholas Stern, played by Paul Thomas, whose whole platform is based around being more respectable and, well, all the things that are the opposite of being a womanizing douche canoe. One of his aides, Jody, played by Annette Hines, becomes fed up with Stern's hedonistic lifestyle and decides to go to the press. She's then aided by a journalist, played by the legendary Annette Haven. Stern's manager, played by Cannibal Holocaust's Robert Kerman, also plays a significant role in taking down Stern, although in a more indirect manner thanks to his jilted wife Mary Beth, played by another porn heavyweight, Kelly Nichols. Although what we have here is porn at the height of its artistic integrity, the story takes dead aim at those hypocritical politicians of the day who attacked the industry while being just as corrupt and sinful as the politicians they demonized. Through Stern's sexual exploits, we're given a look into a predator who absolutely must be taken down. That does make some of the sex scenes a little skeevy, but hey, just put your dick back in your pants and you'll be morally absolved, okay guy? And as adult film enthusiasts already know, and contrary to most mainstream assumptions, the acting and filmmaking on display ranges from pretty good to downright fantastic. Kerman and Haven are perhaps the best, but Paul Thomas deserves quite a bit of praise for crafting a real monstrous motherfucker who you just can't wait to see go down. Not like that, you dirty fuck. There are some minor quibbles, such as some obvious ADR and a weird reverb problem in one of the fuck scenes that might have been intentionally added to create a more nightmarish quality. I also took a bit of umbrage with Annette Haven's fairly small role, if only because the film posits her as the star. Small note, this is the second Annette Haven movie in a row from Vinegar Syndrome with fake Arabs. I don't know what to do with that information, but it just struck me as interesting and odd. The extras on this disc are predictably kind of light. There's literally one interview, and that's with Joyce Snyder, who wrote and produced the film. It's a very awkward interview wherein she tries very hard to sell her book on filmdom and rattles off an unlikely story about Thomas being so convincing that some folks who walked up during filming wanted to actually vote for him. That said, it's a very informative 18 minutes, so it's certainly not bad. So yeah, if you collect or enjoy old school adult films, then you probably already bought this, but I do highly recommend Public Affairs, and it is definitely my favorite of this month's releases.
You're stupid because you ruined the best thing that's ever happened to me to be somebody.
Now obviously I was not a huge fan of this group, but it's worth noting that Vinegar Syndrome has done their usual fantastic job on the technical side of these releases. So if any of these movies looks like your jam, or you checked one out on VHS back in the day and enjoyed it then these releases are basically mandatory for you, I guess. Next month, we're looking at a big old box of stuff, including a new Vinegar Syndrome archive release, a gory horror flick, and, oh boy, a fuck ton of porn.
And yeah, so that's the end of the video. That's all she wrote. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video, hit that stupid fucking bell thing. Let's see, share on your Twitters, on your Facebooks. Follow me on the Twitters and the Facebooks, maybe the Instagrams. I sometimes post stuff on that thing. And yeah, if you want to really support this channel, I've given you no reason to do so. But if that's your bag, if you just have like a weird, white guy talking about movies fetish, go to my Patreon and consider giving me like $3 a month. If you do that, you get all the exclusive videos and content that I post there, and I'll give you a little shout out at the end of the video, kind of like what's about to happen after I tell you to go watch a fucking movie.